Whomst? Wait, we're actually starting exactly on time. What is this? This never happens.
This says 7:01.
Well, that says 7 o'clock, and that's 1 minute fast, so therefore it's the perfect time.
You could choose.
Anyway, howdy folks, EJ here. I got a haircut. I look like a naked mole rat or something.
I look like death itself.
Well, you're like farther away from the light source, so you're just like hiding in the shadows.
An emo boy lurking in the background.
Yeah, she's an emo boy. And also, I love, like, you can just see, like, the EY of the EJ monkey.
Hey.
Like, we're just hiding the rest of the logo because I don't have a green screen anymore. Or, I mean, I do. It's just not easily put upable. So that stinks. Anyway, howdy folks, EJ here, and welcome to another... I mean, we don't usually do Dungeons & Dragons on Friday nights, but I ran out of things to do, and ran out of, like, I deleted some other games because they were taking up too much space on my computer. Long story short, we're gonna try out Dungeons & Dragons. MK's never tried it before, and yeah, it should be fun.
Yep, I don't know what's happening. I'm just here to say words.
Well, so to do Dungeons & Dragons, we first need to make you a character.
No way.
I know, right?
That's
so,
crazy.
would you like to do it on my phone, or would you like to download an app that will make it easier for you, or like just do it manually, or what? Too many options?
What does this app do?
This app, here, I will show you the app on my phone. It basically just keeps track of like your stats. It does a little bit of math for you so you can figure out this stuff easier, and lists your weapons and tells you some stuff about your character, which is helpful. It's a tracker for your character basically.
What do you think I should do?
You can use my phone if you want to, or you could do it on your own phone.
You make the decision.
Why don't you do it on your own phone? Fine, we can do it on mine. I don't care, and it's just up to you. If you would rather do it on mine, because it's already installed on here, that works.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I wish I could share my phone screen to the world, but that is not a possibility, so rip. So we're gonna go to the folder icon and hit new character. I just had Luigi and Waluigi in there.
Why?
Because I made a Waluigi character with Hawk, and it was fantastic.
Oh.
I don't have the live stream of that though, because it was on Ray's channel, and apparently he doesn't save video on demand, but it was hilarious. When I introduced the character, he just started laughing. It was the best thing ever.
Sounds lit.
So we're gonna use the character creator. Great, we're gonna need to look up some of these races because I'm sure you don't know what most of these things are.
I don't.
Okay. So
there's so many.
what type of character would you like to be? Would you like to be like a human, or would you like to be something more interesting like a elf or a dwarf or like a fairy or like a centaur, dragonborn, elephantine, whatever the heck that is?
What?
A bird person. You could be like a half angel, half human thing. You could be an animal hybrid, a bugbear. You could be a furbolg, whatever that is, a genesee, a geth, a gnome, a goblin, a Goliath, half elf, half orc, halfling, hobgoblin, henku, a kobold, a lizard folk, a minotaur, an orc, a serpent blood, a tabaxi, a tiefling, a triton, a turtle, or a violetken.
What are
That
any
definitely
of those
wasn't in the app
options?
before. I think they updated this. A lot of those I don't know. Would you like to look up any of these? Or would you like to just make a decision on one of the ones that you know of?
What the heck?
This is how Dungeons & Dragons starts, because I don't know what I'm doing and I'm not a very good dungeon master. Yeet. I feel like we're really dark.
That's okay.
I wish there was a way to like
We don't
boost
need
the
to be
amount.
lit up. Light is... This is too many options.
Okay. Well, what kind of personality would you like your character to be? Would you like him to be like an edgelord that reflects the anger in your soul, like Zuko? Would you like them to be like just a dumb brute that's like, I can fight good?
I want to be
just
an
like,
edgelord.
Okay.
I want to be Keith and Zuko.
You could be like a tiefling or something. That's like half demon, half human.
Ooh, I like demons.
She likes demons.
Oh, what now?
Gotta love Bedabbledeem
A tiefling?
A tiefling, yeah.
That's the weirdest I've heard.
Yeah, they're fancy. I've
What's
never played a tiefling.
sub-race class background?
You know, I don't know what subrace is. I would just ignore that if I were you. I don't think there are. Oh, nope, there are definitely other subraces, but I'm just gonna not touch those. Alright, what class would you like to be? So what kind of fighting style basically would you like your character to have? Would you like them to be like a ranged spellcaster? Would you like them to be like a support dude that like heals other people because you totally have other people that are gonna be with you right now? Would you like to be like a religious kind of dude, just a regular old fighter that swings a sword? You could be a warlock, which is like they've made a pact with a evil entity and the evil entity like grants them some magic in exchange for their soul. So
wow.
It's kind of a bad trade, but I mean you can do cool stuff in the moment before you die.
Oh, love death. That might be a little too emo.
Okay, it's a little too emo. Alright. You could be you could be a really sneaky person that kind of like stealths up on people and stabs them in the butt or tries to deceive them and stuff.
Sure, why not?
You want to be that?
Yeah.
Okay, we can have another Shroomy hashtag I want that.
What?
Shroomy made a hashtag I want that because he just like would go up to people and be like, I want that. And he's like so good at like his dexterity that he can like sleight of hand and like lie to people and like stealth around that he's just, like trying to just take everything, and that's just what his character does, just tries to rob everyone without them noticing.
Legit.
Pretty great. So you'd like to be a rogue?
Ooh, that sounds fun. A rogue?
Yep, you're literally an edgy rogue.
I love being edgy.
Alright, and your background. So what would you say your character used to do in their life before they got to this point?
6 schools in 6 years. I've been kicked out of everything.
So what you're saying is you'd like to be multi-classed into everything?
Yes. What are the options for a background? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know what an acolyte is. You could be a barbarian tribe member, or like in the past. I don't. So you could have been in a big group of like tribal warriors. A charlatan. I forget what a charlatan is. Do you remember what that is? Okay, I forgot. We should probably have Google up to help us. Here, I'll just put the microphone there for a little bit.
Been kicked out of every place.
I wonder if there's a student one, if you wanted to be a student. Urban bounty hunter, urchin, sage, soldier, port city noble, outlander, noble, mercenary veteran, knight, inheritor, hermit, haunted one.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe like you were killed and you now haunt things. I don't know. Guild artisan, guild member, bar traveler, folk hero, faction agent, entertainer, custom, criminal, courier, cloistered scholar. Cloistered scholar? What does that mean? That could be school related. I mean, so it's got skull on it. Here, let's look up what that is. Go away, all of you notifications. Cloistered scholar. What is it? It says, as a child, you were inquisitive when your playmates were possessive or raucous. In your formative years, you found your way to one of Farron's great institutes of learning, where you were apprenticed and taught that knowledge is a more valuable treasure than gold or gems. Now you are ready to leave your home. Wait, what? Now you are ready to leave your home, not to abandon it, but to quest for new lore to add to its storehouse of knowledge. Blah blah blah. So you're a nerd, basically. Would you want that?
That sounds
or
a bit
not?
like Pidge to me.
Ooh, okay. We could do a custom one.
What?
We could just do a custom one and say that you were in 6 schools in 6 years or whatever.
Sure, why not?
Okay,
Been kicked
and
out
then
of every place. Everything I ever do is wrong. Never find where I belong. Everybody on my case.
sure, and we can just give you some like custom bonuses because of that. All right, so now you get to choose 2 skills out of all of these things that you could be good at. So,
Yeet.
if you're gonna, all right.
No, what were you talking about?
No, that's fine. So take a look at those skills. So these are things that I might ask you to do. So like if you're trying to be stealthy. You're gonna be like trying to sneak up on people or do something. I'll have you make a stealth roll, and then you gotta like roll a d20 and see if you can succeed. But if you choose that skill for stealth, then it'll like add extra numbers and make you better at that thing, so you're more likely to succeed. So like say if you roll a 9 or below, you fail, but if you roll a 10 or above, you succeed at the stealth. That's just an example, because sometimes it's a harder thing to do, so it might not be always that. But if you chose that thing, then like say you rolled a 9, then because you chose that skill, it would be 9 plus 2. So then you'd like better at it, and you would have succeeded when you would have failed before. So yeah, that's basically what this skill choosing does. As a rogue, you are going to be good at things that require like dexterity, like sleight of hand and stealth and like sneaking around and acrobatics and stabbing people really hard and stuff. So that'll be what you're looking for. Shroomy says, "Dang, was gonna raid you and I forgot and ended the stream. Oh no!" Hi Shroomy, welcome. I'm just doing Dungeons and Dragons with McKay, teaching her how to get started and stuff.
I have no idea what's happening. I'm just basing this character off of like 5 characters. I'm stupid and I hate myself.
It'll be fine. It's not a big deal. This is just gonna be for fun, basically. And hopefully we'll have my whole family do Dungeons and Dragons at some point, so that'll be fun. This is working on it, practice. I don't know.
Okay, there's a lot of things that are similar. Deception, sleight of hand, and stealth are all really similar.
Let me see. Deception is more like convincing them, and that's like based on your charisma, whereas dexterity and like sleight of hand is kind of like doing things that require lots of like finger quickness and skill. And what was the other one you said that was similar?
Stealth.
Stealth is similar, but that's more like sneaking your whole body around rather than like just kind of quickly reaching into someone's purse and taking their stuff and getting out again.
Fam?
Well, what I did for Shroomy when he was a rogue is I mean, you get to choose more skills beyond this, so this is not the only thing you get. So I think what we did for him is we did, we might have done stealth and deception, but if you wanted to like sleight of hand or something, if you want to like steal from people a lot, you could also do that. Or you could do intimidation if you want to be like an edgy edgelord. You could be like, I don't want to talk to you, and like sass people. By the way, as a tiefling, I think you can have like different colored skin. So like if you want to have like red skin or like blue skin or something. What did you say? Do you want to have purple skin? I don't actually know what the rules are for tieflings, but yeah, we could say you have purple skin if you want.
Maybe.
Okay. So what would you like to choose?
Yeet.
She yeeted. And I think you do get to choose more because you're a rogue, and rogue get like way too many skills, and then you get to double some skills that you chose, so you can like get twice as much goodness at some skills.
Sneaky boy.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Oh, it's a thing.
Oh, well, oh, you got to the next part. Okay.
Because I hit the next button.
Okay, yeah, so. Did you hit the next button twice, or was it just once?
Just once.
Okay, good.
Wow, I love unstraightened bangs. She looks great.
I love having no bangs. I just have an empty forehead. It really looks like it's just going like a line, like I don't know. It looks like I have my bangs are not straight, which they are, I think.
Well, this doesn't look too bad actually.
I don't know. It might just be the camera doing weird things to me. So hello and welcome, Shrooms, and whoever else is watching. Apparently there are more people watching, which I'm surprised by, considering we're not doing much right now. It's just the camera. So, alright, so we have gotten the lovely D20 out. Here is the thing. Now, we must roll for each of the 6 stats. You get to roll for each of them, and you get to choose which thing you should... we roll the die, and then whatever number it is, you get to decide where you want to put it. Like, for a rogue, you would probably want to keep dexterity as your highest one, and if you want to also be good at lying to people, maybe charisma. Maybe strength would be good if you want to fight people. So let me explain what these are, I guess. Dexterity is like how skilled you are at like reflexes and like kind of dancing around people and dodging stuff and doing that kind of stuff. Strength is just raw power and like bashing things and stabbing things. Constitution is like how well your immune system works, and it's like if you're good at resisting disease, if you're good at not throwing up when you see blood, and I don't know, that kind of thing. Intelligence is just how smart you are and like how good you are at understanding books and stuff. Wisdom is more like street smarts, so like how good you are at like noticing someone being kind of shifty and being sus or whatever. And then
me realizing everything that happens in shows.
And then charisma is like how talented you are at like making people like you and like being all
so not very
suave and okay.
What I'm going with.
Shumi says, "Nice hair, both of you." Hey, Fable Prince, how's it going? He says, "Mine." Okay. We are his. He has claimed us. So yeah, basically you can when you roll it, you can put it in a spot. But then you can't change that spot. Like you can't like go, oh, I got a better one, let me just shift these around. You can't move them once you place them. So if you roll like a really low one, you don't want to put it in your dexterity one because then you won't be able to like move it later if you get a better one for dexterity because you want your dexterity to be good as a rogue. So basically, you gotta be a little bit strategic, and then at the end, once you filled up all 6 spots, then you get to choose one of them to re-roll. So like if you got a really low number for one of them and you want to try re-rolling it to try to get something better, you can re-roll one of them. That's the way Hawk showed me, at least. So that might not be the best way out there, but that's the way that we do it. So go ahead and roll. That's a 4. Okay. Where would you like to put your 4?
Oh no.
And keep in mind you can re-roll your one of them, and that probably would be wise to re-roll the lowest one. So you'll probably end up re-rolling that one.
You're moving a lot.
I'm sorry.
I can't see anything.
Throw this away. Oh no, I'm sorry. Do you want to be really unlikable?
We hate charisma.
We hate charisma. Okay. Nobody is going to like you.
I hate the fact that I'm actually basing this character off of other characters, but you know, okay. I'm not creative.
It's okay. You can do what you want.
10.
Ooh, that's a 10. That's perfectly average. Yeah. Okay. My boy is being sus. Shirmy says, "This is a one-person campaign." No, this is actually going to be the same campaign that we've been doing, Shirmy, with you. However,
be average for
sickness. Okay, average life. Sickness. That's good. All right. So roll again. So this is going to be the same campaign. It's just she's going to be in a different spot, and she's not going to be with the rest of the party right now. Maybe she'll join us later. But yeah, this is just for her right now. But if she's okay with it, maybe you could join later, Shirmy. But we'll see.
I got un 15.
Ooh, un 15. That's a good. Okay. Where would you like to put your 15?
Sneaky boy.
Sneaky boy. Okay.
The category Sneaky Boy is where we put that.
Okay. That's a 3.
So I'm just gonna so I'm gonna put that somewhere, re-roll that, and then be really hateable because I won't re-roll that one.
Okay.
Love that.
Where would you like to put your 3?
Hold on. Do I want to be
really weak?
Stupid, weak, or stupid?
Stupid, weak, or not being able to see anything.
Oh, oof.
Like in that video that Hawk was showing us. But you can re-roll it, so it's not going to be that big a deal. You're probably not going to get another 3 when you re-roll it.
Hopefully not. We'll do...
Stats are in your favor for that. Hey, Jess, welcome, Sneaky Boy.
Sneaky Boy. Who can guess what character this is based off of? I hate myself.
I don't know. I thought you said it was based off like 5.
Well, it kind of is, but mainly the one that's on my mind a lot.
Is it Keith?
Shh. No, what do you mean?
That's right, Keith.
No! That's not
right. Sandwich!
I'm gonna cry.
Voltron is funny.
Yeet! I can't decide. This is the worst.
It's okay, you're gonna re-roll it anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Intelligence, because Pidge is the smart one.
Okay. You're doing it off of Pidge now? Oh yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because a 3 is really smart.
Gotcha, okay. That's
what the heck?
That's a 2!
I'm so sad.
Okay, if you're too terrible, I can maybe, like, use my DM powers to say you should change some stuff, because, like, if you have a completely useless character, it might be really fun to play, but it'll also be a little annoying, but, I mean, it'll work out one way or the other, right?
I feel like I need to do strength, because I can't be stupid in both categories.
I mean, you could be blind and stupid.
If I'm super, like, deceptive, I might not need strength, because I can just be like, you got your thing, I'm already 10 miles away by the time you notice, haha.
Okay.
12.
12 is...
That's not bad.
Okay, yeah, alright. So now you've filled up all the spots. Now which one do you want to re-roll? She's got 3 that are slightly above average, and 3 that are the worst possible, basically.
I love my life. So you're basing him off all the Voltron characters? No, because we're the opposite of Pidge, because we have a 3 in intelligence right now. Don't mind me. Yeah. We don't care about charisma, we can be hateable. Intelligence, that's just gonna be a little embarrassing, but I mean...
That's
like,
right. Well, I mean, he's impulsive.
Exactly, he's really impulsive. So we're gonna do strength.
Okay.
12, okay.
Alright, a little bit above average. I mean, it's better than a 2. I'll say that.
So we're just really stupid and really hateable.
Okay,
love.
but you do,
Yep.
because you chose a tiefling, apparently you get a +1 to your intelligence, or and +2 to your charisma.
The
So
ones that were the lowest.
Yeah, so you're gonna be slightly better in those 2 anyway, which is good.
Okay.
So now, next. And now you get to select 4 more skills of things that you want to be good at. In addition to the ones you're already good at.
Maybe like intimidation, because then I'm... Oh wait, I am kind of sort of strong now, but then like people won't fight me if I'm scary.
And are you gonna be a boy or a girl?
Hadn't thought that far ahead.
Alright, we can decide it once you get there. Hadn't thought that far ahead.
I didn't think about this at all. You just were like, hey, do this, and I was like, okay.
It'll be fun.
So if I choose these skills, does that make what I rolled, does that change anything about that? Like if I choose a skill that's like perception, does that make me less stupid, or am I still really stupid?
Well, your general stupidity is going to stay the same, but you're going to be better in a certain area of your stupidity. So like, if you're like, better, if you choose the history skill, even though you're not that smart, you'll be slightly better when history-related things come up, but you're still going to be stupid in general.
Cool.
At least you're only going to have a -3 in your intelligence, not a -4 like it was a second ago. That racial bonus kind of saved you from total death.
Okay, I chose some.
Okay, good. And now you
expertise.
get to... yeah, so now these are things you're really good at, and you basically get double your skill. So
What
if
are
there's 2 things
tools?
that you... that's like, if you're a rogue and you want to like have thieves tools, you can like pick locks and like sneak into places better, and like use thieves tools to rob places. That kind of thing, I think. I've never used them yet, but yeah, they exist. So you can choose those if you want, or you could just double, like something you've already chosen, like your stealth or your intimidation or something like that.
We gonna be a sneaky boy.
Sneaky boy. You never gonna get seen.
No, it's a thing.
Okay, cool. So now that's fine. So now your equipment. Would you like a rapier or a short sword?
What's a rapier?
It's like a sword.
I know that, but like, can you be more specific?
I don't know what the difference between a rapier and a short sword is, to be honest. Alright, I'll look it up. Rapier 5e. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Which rapier did you mean? Rapier. Alright, it is a 1d8 of piercing damage. Properties, finesse. I don't know what that means. Weight 2. Meanwhile, the short sword.
My boy's being sus.
Whoa.
He was shady, you know.
That's pretty intense. Come on, come on, come on, please. I'm gonna have to look up a lot of stuff because I'm new to this game too. Okay, so the short sword does slightly less damage, but other than that, it's exactly the same. So, may as well go with a rapier, I guess.
Okay.
You could also get a short bow and arrows, or you could do a short sword.
We hate bow and arrow.
You...
Is there a problem?
Alright, you don't want to be a ranged person? I mean, I'm not gonna...
I don't know, I just hate bows. I have a grudge against bow and arrow.
You do? Why?
I don't know.
Is that like a character thing?
I just hate them.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, now it's a character thing.
Alright, yeah, your character just hates bows and arrows. It's like, fight me like a man! Don't hide behind your ranged weapons! Alright, would you like a burglar's pack, a dungeoneer's pack, or an explorer's pack? I'll look them up.
Okay, I will be entertaining. So, you know, got a cheese sandwich.
Oh boy.
Got a cheese sandwich.
What's the third one? Burglar's Pack?
Burglar, Dungeon, and Explorers.
It's just Burglar's Pack. Alright, so a Burglar's Pack includes a backpack, a ball of 1,000 ball bearings, 10 feet of string, a bell, 5 candles, a crossbow,
And summon a devil.
a hammer, 10 pitons, which are like the metal things you use to like hit into a stone wall and like rock climb,
Wow.
a hooded lantern, 2 flasks of oil, 5 days of rations, a tinderbox, a water skin, and 50 feet of rope. An explorer's pack includes a backpack, a bedroll, a mess kit, a tinderbox, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, a water skin, and 50 feet of rope. So basically most of the same stuff except less. Dungeoneer's pack has a backpack, a crowbar, a hammer, 10 pitons, 10 torches, a tinderbox, 10 days of rations, a water skin, and 50 feet of hempen rope. If I were you, I'd go with that one. It seems to have more stuff and more interesting stuff.
Okay.
And it has a bag of 1,000 ball bearings, which if you pour like in an area or on the ground or something, you can make people like slip and fall, and they have to make a dex save. Like they have to roll a save and like for their dexterity.
Or else the Demogorgon will get them.
Or else they fall and like can't do things. So
Yeet.
It's helpful if you want to like make it so people can get through an area easily.
Thank you, next.
Yeet. Okay, so yeah. Finish creation. Okay, what do you want to name them?
Ooh. Wait,
Oh
this
boy.
is so stupid.
It's okay.
Should I name
We have
in
characters
honor...
named Jeb Jebby, Banana, Guy Dude, and we've had Frodo Beggins, we've had Edgy Edward, I think. We've had... Who else have we had?
This is in honor of Eden.
We've
I
had
love
No
you,
Rock.
Eden. You're my only friend. I love you. This is in honor of
Kitsune just says naming is the hardest thing.
Well, I had one prepared.
Okay.
Did I do that right?
These names are cells.
I think I did. I hit. I don't know if it worked.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I did.
His name is Keep. Keip.
It's keep.
Keep.
In honor of Eden. I love you.
Okay. Very nice.
Because you know what? Do you want to know why? Can you
Sure.
guess
Yeah. Wait. No, I can't guess why.
Because that's what
Oh,
Annalise
Keith?
and Eden call Keith. They call him Keep.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Okay. So, as you can see, as a tiefling, you can, well, like, within 60 feet of you, you can, like, see dim light as bright light and darkness as, like, dim light, so you can kind of, like, see in the dark a little better than
Wow.
people within 60 feet of you. You gain fire resistance, apparently. You can cast
Wow.
the Thaumaturgy cantrip, which, let's Google that.
Just as these names.
Yeah, I know, I said
Keep.
that.
I love Keep.
Oop, I failed miserably to type that, but that's fine. Thaumaturgy 5e.
Oh, thaumaturges! That reminds me of the book series. Books. Sorry, I just now registered that.
Oh,
Thaumaturges are people who can control people.
wow, you manifest a minor wonder, a sign of supernatural power within range. You create one of the following magical effects within range. Your voice booms up to 3 times as loud as normal for 1 minute. You cause flames to flicker, brighten, dim, or change color for 1 minute. You cause harmless tremors in the ground for 1 minute. You create an instantaneous sound that originates from a point of your choice within range, such as a rumble of thunder, the cry of a raven, or ominous whispers. You instantly cause an unlocked door to open or unlocked door or window to fly open or slam shut. You alter the appearance of your eyes for 1 minute. If you cast the spell multiple times, you can have up to 3 of its 1 minute effects active at a time, and you can dismiss each such effect as an action. And the range is 30 feet, so anything within 30 feet of you can do these things.
Wow.
And you can do it anytime you like, because this is a cantrip, so you can just kind of do it whenever, and it just happens. You don't need to roll for it, it just kind of does it, as long as it's within these rules, and that's pretty cool. So, let me just add that to your list of spell thingies. Eat. Thaumaturge.
Wow.
Yeet, I can spell. You also, at the 3rd level, get that, but that's 3rd level, so not yet. So ignore that part. Custom background feature. Ah, yes, this is your 5 schools in 5 years thing. What would
No,
we like
6
to do?
schools in 6 years.
Oh, whatever, okay. Sorry. So let's just take a look at your rogue features first. You can double the proficiency of chosen skills, we already did that. Sneak attack, Ooh, so that I think is if you sneak up behind someone and stab them in the back, it does an extra 1d6 of damage. So like there's an incentive to like be sneaky and stab them in the back instead of like attack them in the front. If you want to do that. You can also understand a secret language, like some sort of spy, like criminal burglar language or something, thief language, I don't know, something like that. And double proficiency, you already did that as well. Okay. So what would we like to do for your custom background feature? Would we like to make you... I mean, I guess it makes sense that you got kicked out of 6 schools in 6 years because your intelligence is so bad. So what would we like to say about... Maybe we can like buff your insight because you've been around so many types of people. What do you think?
Sure.
Okay, we'll give you a bonus
6
to
schools
insight.
in 6 years, kicked out of every place.
Would we like to say that you also have like 6 school uniforms because you've been to so many places? So like you have disguises or something?
Sure.
Okay. We'll say that you have 5 extra disguises then.
Yep.
Okay. Let me just put that in your equipment. 5 extra outfits for some reason. I can spell. And I don't know how much you need for a custom background. Maybe we'll add some more, but I don't know what else to add.
I'm sure it's a very tragic backstory.
I mean,
love emo boys.
You can make it up.
Slash
It's
girls,
whatever you want. So yeah, that's just the features that you would get from it. We can maybe add more if we think it's not OP enough. So yeah, let's just go to your skills page. So this is like your main page that lists like your HP and like your stats and stuff. So these are your skills. You have strength of 12, intelligence of 4, dexterity of 15, wisdom of 12, constitution of 10, and charisma of 6. So your charisma's not as bad as it could have been. It's only a -2. So that's the actual number. Your modifier is like what you use when you're like, say if I say roll an intelligence check, you would roll the die and then like add your modifier to it. Or if it's a save, then you would add that to it instead. So yeah, your worst one is intelligence. Constitution, you add nothing to it. Dexterity, you add 2 to anything you do. These ones you take away 3 and 2 from whatever it is. Yeah. This is your proficiency. That's not really used for much. Initiative. So like if I asked you to roll initiative, you would add 2 to whatever you roll. That's your HP. That's your speed. Like every round of combat, you can move that speed to 30 feet in 1 round of combat, unless you do something like dash, which like doubles your movement speed. That's your armor class, which like if someone tries to hit you, they have to roll above a 13 in order to actually hit you. So that's pretty lit, but that's not as OP as you would think because there's also these things which are like bonuses when you try to roll to attack with a weapon. So you have your proficiency of +2, and then you have your strength of +1. I'm not sure why it's exactly like that, but somehow it ends up as a +4. So when you try to roll to hit with your rapier, you would roll the die and then you would add +4 to it, and that's like taking into account your proficiency and your strength and everything. So basically that that means that you have a higher ability to hit things, which helps you overcome the armor classes of the enemies, but it also helps the enemies overcome yours. So yeah, it's not completely OP. And these are the weapons you have. You have a rapier, short sword, and you have daggers.
Heck yeah.
I don't know how many daggers you have. It's probably listed over here. You have 2 daggers. You've got your thieves' tools, a burglar's pack. Apparently you have no gold or anything. So you're a poor boy. You can also put like personality traits, flaws, bonds. So if you wanted, you could give yourself like a character quirk, like doesn't understand sarcasm or something.
Hates bows.
Hates bows, yes. Okay, we can put that. Do you want to put that somewhere?
Sure.
Ideals, hates bows. Works for me. Oh, I can't spell. My fingers are way too fat to like type things properly, and it's quite annoying. So you know common, you know infernal, which is the language of tieflings, I guess, and you know thieves can't. I guess that's the secret language that you know. I don't know why it's called thieves can't. Okay.
I'm trying to trick you into thinking that thieves can't know it,
thieves
but
can't
really,
talk.
Thieves can.
Oh, they can. You're right. Yep. All right. I've been spooked. And these are your skills. So since you like doubled your stealth, You have a +6 to your stealth because that's +2, and then +2 because you have proficiency in it, and then +2 again because you doubled your proficiency in it. So that's a +6 to anytime you try to do stealth, which is pretty good. You also have your charisma is pretty bad. So even though you have proficiency in intimidation, it was a -2, so now you're up to 0. So your normal ability to intimidate, but you can help. You're slightly better than usual at being able to see things, so that's good. You're not as good at intelligence related things, but in general, that's you. And then if you look over here, these are your spells. You only have one right now, so it's not very much to look at.
Catnip. Catnip.
Cantrip, yes. So yeah, that's you, and you are now keep.
Keep!
That's a keeper.
Exactly. Ow, I keep hurting myself.
Well, how did you hurt yourself? On the corner of this? Well, don't do that then. Here, let's help.
Shroomy says, not with that attitude, I can't.
What did he say? Oh, for the...
Thieves can't. You were spooked?
Oh no, she's thaumaturging me. I'm spooked. Okay, well, so we have your character set up. Would you like to
Did we ever decide if it was a guy or a girl?
No, you didn't.
I don't know. I don't really see a difference.
You don't see a difference. Yes, they are the same entity. I mean, they're not a human. They're a tiefling either way.
It'll be a guy in honor of Keep.
Okay, guy.
And also because I don't want my girl character being that stupid.
Yeah, girls are too smart to be that dumb. Alright, so.
Yes.
Would you like to give us any more insight or like make up anything more about your character to give them like a rich and deep history? Would you like to give us the life story of Keep and his getting kicked out of schools and having a rough life, and why does he hate bows so much?
Let's see. Keep.
Did people like across the classroom just like keep shooting crossbows at him, and he's like, ah, stop it! I've had to go to the ER twice today.
Keep had a troubled childhood, and let's see, he didn't have a mom because that's what happens in tragic backstories. Because all those Disney princesses, they never have. Wait, is it a dad or a mom? I don't know, both.
They never have both.
And so, let's see. Keep he lived with his dad, but then his dad got possessed
by a demon.
Yeah. And started shooting a whole bunch of bows at him. And he was like, oh no.
Oh no.
So every time he sees a bow, he just gets like flashbacks, and he's like, oh no.
Triggered.
The only person I've ever trusted in my entire life tried to kill me, so I have some walls up. Nope. So he ran away from home, and he eventually got adopted by a nice lady named Annalise. And Annalise was like a mother to him. The mother he never had, because you never have a mother.
My mother.
And she was like, okay, now you gotta go to school, because I know you've been traumatized by your father shooting bow at you, but like you should go to school.
So did your father just like continue doing that forever? Or did he ever like stop doing that, or did he just run away?
Keep actually yeeted himself out a window.
He defenestrated himself?
As he was being shot at.
No.
It was on the first story though, so he didn't like die.
Oh, okay.
And then that's when he
just
ran
like...
away. And then he found Annalise, and Annalise sent him to school. And so his first year of school, he had some behavioral issues because of his traumatic childhood and everything. So like,
understandable.
He got kicked out eventually because he was just like disrupting everything and just yeah. And so
also because the weird whispers that just come from the corner of the room.
They're like, what the heck?
They're like, why do we let this demon child in our room?
So basically every year he keeps getting kicked out because he's an emo boy who has trauma in his past, and he's got a lot going on. But Annalise is like the good mother she is. She's like, I'm never gonna give up on you, son. I love you. I think that I believe in you. I believe in you, Keep. And so finally he gets to stay in a school for a little longer than 1 year. He doesn't actually get kicked out because this is a hardcore school. This is the school of edgy teens.
Edgy Teen Academy. Just like you have to have bangs that cover half your face in order to go there.
Exactly, and that's why Keith grew his lovely mullet that we all know and love.
Yes.
And so then he was in that for a while. Eventually he got kicked out of that one too because he was just so he was too edgy. He was just so good at being edgy that they were like, we can't, you're just showing off by being this edgy, like you can't even be here anymore, bro. And then he was like, you know what, Annalise, I'm over this, education's not for me, I'm gonna go live my life. No, wait, he did that and he made Annalise really sad, and then his demented father broke in and murdered his stepmother, and then he had more trauma in his past and he ran away, and that brings us to where we are now.
Whoa, now that's just too far.
Is that the best emo backstory ever?
That is very emo. So he's just like raging with emotions after this fresh murder that has occurred.
In his soul.
Yes, like he's already murdered in his soul, and now he's been even more murdered in his soul. Murdered in his soul. I don't think that's the right term for that, but okay.
It is now.
Well, that's quite a backstory. Yeah. I like it. So one thing I forgot to mention about Dungeons and Dragons, I'm sure you already know, but like if you roll a 1 naturally, it doesn't matter what +6s or whatever you have on there. If you rolled a 1 naturally, you instantly fail in a hilarious way. If you roll a natural 20, which on this die that's 20. I don't know why it's a hand trident or something. But for this one, it's a regular 20. Anyway, if you roll a natural 20 before you add in or subtract whatever your modifiers did, then you automatically succeed in an amazing way. So natural 20s and natural 1s, always good to like yell at the DM, hey, it was a natural whatever, before you add your things. But for regular rolls, you can be like, oh, I got a 16 + 1 or a 16 - 2 or whatever it is for the roll that you're doing.
Yeet.
So yeah, that's it. Now I guess we're ready to start. So, Keep, you have decided to set sail and leave your troubled past behind you, and
dead mother.
You were blown ashore on this distant island by a storm that was blowing you. What'd you say?
I'm just laughing at how ridiculous this is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you wash up on the shore in your little tiny boat, and you kind of like wash up on this sandy beach, and you look out into the sun, and
I look into the sun.
Well, yes,
I'm stupid.
Yes. Well, I mean, you can set your eyes on fire apparently with thaumaturgy, so you need to charge them up every once in a while. So roll me perception. See what you see.
Let's see.
And see what you can see. And see what you can see. That's a 3.
Why am I so bad at everything?
You do look into the sun, and you get blinded. Here, let's scroll over to the side and see what you're in. Insight or perception is okay. So that's a +3. So you have 3 + 3 is 6. So that's not too bad. But you can't see too much. I mean, I guess you see just slightly below average. So you look around, and you can see the sandy beach extending to either side of you along the coast for quite a long distance. You're like just kind of washed up on the shore of this strange island that you've never seen before. You can see a forest that's maybe 20 to 30 feet ahead of you, just like a dense forest, looks like kind of tropical maybe in nature. So there's like dense greenery all around. You don't really see any signs of life or any sign of people. And in the distance, like farther up the island, you can see like one giant mountain that's kind of like sticking up out of the center of the island. And you can tell it's an island because like when you're sailing up to it, you can kind of see both sides of it easily. I mean, maybe it's just a really long mainland, but I think it's an island. So as you wash up on shore, you're kind of sitting in your little wooden boat, and you're just kind of like, all right, I'm here now. So what would you like to do, Kite? I mean, Kite.
Kite.
The one time I actually say Kite, like there's a character in the other campaign. I keep calling Denise's character. He's playing a character named Pip. He's playing a character named Kite, but I keep calling him Pip, and now I'm calling your character
Kip close
Kite.
To Kite at all?
I don't know. I just can't keep them straight. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So Keep. What would you like to do as you wash ashore? The salty breeze blowing your hair out of your eyes.
What's the most edgy thing I could do?
The most edgy thing you could do? I don't know. That's up for you to decide.
I should peek around the mystical forest.
Alright. So, would you like to get out of your boat and, like, walk towards the forest and look around and stuff?
Yeah, sure. I hope I don't die.
Alright, so you kind of hop out of your boat and kind of, like, walk across the sand. It feels like just regular sand, nothing weird about it. And you're just kind of, like, walking it across, getting sand in your shoes as you walk to the forest. And once you reach the forest line, you kind of, like, start pushing your way through, like, the dense leaves, and you're just kind of seeing forest. There's more forest here. As you're listening, you don't hear any sounds of like birds chirping and cheerfully buzzing around, because birds buzz. You don't hear like a lot of animal noises or anything. It's just kind of like eerily silent, and you're just kind of like pushing your way through these leaves like, I am a noisy person in this land. In fact, roll me stealth. See how noisy you are as you're going through these woods.
14 and also
14.
6.
Whoa, so that's a 20 total. Yeet.
I make 0 sounds ever. I don't even breathe.
So you're just like, I do not want to alert the bears in these woods, or
cheetahs,
no. Yes, the jaguars.
Pythons.
Pythons, yes. I thought of the coding in language instead of the actual animal at first. I was like, code lizards coming up and eating you.
Love that.
Yes, alright. So yes, you're just kind of forcing your way through the dense leaves, and you don't really see anything for quite some time. Would you like to just keep going? Like, ahead of you, you just kind of see forests. To both sides of you, you just kind of see forests. There's like some fallen logs, actually quite a lot of fallen logs of like trees that have recently fallen down. So they're still kind of alive, but they're just like overturned and like in trouble. And there's still a lot of standing up trees though too. And yeah, it's just a regular old forest. Roll me perception again.
Okay, I was like, what do you want me to do with that information?
I mean,
13
okay, that's much better.
and 3.
Okay, so 16. Alright, so as you are looking around again, you can see to like to your front and right, like 2 o'clock-ish. I had to think about that because I don't use military terms like that very often. You can see like a kind of dirt path going through the woods, like that kind of emerges as you're walking up, and you hear to your left like a little squirrel kind of going through the leaves and stuff, and you see on the path that there are some footsteps, as though like there had been a rainstorm recently, and there's still kind of like recent-ish footprints. If you'd like to examine them more, you can, or you can do whatever. What would you like to do? Alright, so you're gonna get onto the path?
Yeah.
Alright. So as you walk up onto the path, you look around, and you don't really see anyone coming from either direction on the path. And look down at the footsteps and roll me investigation.
Figure out where that is. Am I blind? Yes, I am.
Oh.
Okay. Cool.
Good to
Just
know.
Make sure that we establish that. This better be high because I have a -1. If you betray me again, I'm gonna cry. Okay.
Oof.
That's a 3.
Okay, well, you can see.
So I see nothing.
You see that. How tall are you, by the way? Or like how tall are you? How big are your feet and that kind of stuff? I was gonna give a comparison with how big your feet are, and then I was like, wait, I don't know how big your feet are.
Well, since I decided to be a man, which might have been a bad decision,
Man.
I don't know how big men feet are.
How old are you even?
18.
18.
Yeah, because see,
All
that
right.
makes sense with the traumatic past, because in school and everything, and then kind
Ow,
of
my
it out.
neck. By the way, tieflings become adults at 15, so if you'd like to be just barely an adult, you could be 15 if you wanted.
Would that benefit me in any fashion?
No, I'm just letting you know if you wanted to be like just barely adult. I don't know.
I'll be my own age, because then I can understand how I would react to situations, because I don't know how 15-year-olds work. Even though
Well, I mean,
still
he
look
would
the
be
same as I was
an
15.
adult mentally and physically, because whatever. But it's fine.
Spooky. I don't know, man.
Sure, just 18 is fine.
What was the question? Oh, feet.
Feet. Yeet.
What normal men-sized feet? I don't know.
All right, we'll just say that it's a normal man-sized feet.
Yeah, I don't know what men-sized.
All right, so you can tell that these footsteps are normal man-sized feet, and they seem to be going Like if you've walked onto the path this way, the path goes off to your left and right. The footsteps seem to be facing that way, but it's a little bit hard to tell because like the footsteps aren't exactly fresh from like today or something. Looks like the ground is kind of hardened now and dried out from whenever the footsteps were made in the mud. So you think that they go that way. Follow the footsteps. Follow the spiders. Would you like to walk along the path or like hide in the bushes as you go, or like what you want to do? If you want to be stealthy.
We ain't hiding because
All
we're
right.
impulsive.
All right, let's do it. So you just walk along the path, just kind of following the footsteps, and like, ooh, I'm a bloodhound. I'm going to follow these footsteps. And the footsteps go along this path for quite some time. You walk for maybe like a half a mile before you finally come up to what appears to be like you can kind of hear the sounds of like blacksmithing in the distance, and you come across what looks to be a clearing, and you see smoke rising in the distance, and you're like, oh, there's a camp of some kind over here. Before you get to it, you may either try to like get stealthy, or you can continue walking along the path. What would you like to do?
We're gonna be stealthy because we don't trust no one.
We don't trust
wronged in our past.
Alright, so roll me stealth, and what exactly are you going to try to do? Just kind of creep up to them? Or
spy and be like, yeah, anything I can steal?
I just got a hair in my mouth.
Good job.
Ah!
Good job.
I bumped my head.
I hate myself.
What'd you get?
A 3, but then it's a 9 with the thingy.
Oh.
Why am I so bad at rolling dice?
I mean, they're random. I was questioning myself the other day when I was doing it with Hawk, because I was the dungeon master and I was like trying to roll to see like how well the enemies would do versus what he was doing, and he managed to convince an orc to do something. And I was like, okay, I hope it doesn't go well for him, because then it'll help Hawk. And he nat 20'd, and then I'm like, oh boy. And then I tried to roll to see what the other people would do, and they failed. And I'm like,
nice.
So like every time I tried to do something, it like if it benefited Hawk, it worked fantastic. If it didn't, then it didn't do well at all. And I was like, what the heck is these dice? So that was fun. What did I ask you to roll again?
Stealth. So that's a 9.
Okay, and are you just kind of like creeping up to the camp or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, so you push your way into the like off the path to the right, and you like go behind like in through the bushes and stuff, and you like kind of creep your way along and like are hiding behind a tree as you look into this camp. You see that there are like a bunch of like animal hide tents, kind of like teepees or something. In a circle surrounding a big campfire, and there are kind of like orcs, like you see a bunch of orcs walking around in this area, and they're kind of like carrying weapons and just kind of doing their thing. Some of them look like they're carrying like bushels of wheat. One of them is carrying like a sack of potatoes or something, and they're kind of like going about doing their normal thing. There's a forge nearby the fire, so it looks like one of them is kind of like using the fire to like heat weapons and like kind of beat them on an anvil, and they're just kind of orcs doing their thing. And check something over here. Nobody really notices you for now, so you're just kind of hiding over there.
Wow, this is so open-ended. This is a lot of decisions.
I mean, you can do whatever you want to. You can attack them, you can introduce yourself, you can like just get in your boat and sail somewhere else. It's a little sus.
You're right.
If you want, you could just start exploring a different direction, or like go across the island, whatever you want to do.
Sure, let's look for something friendlier than a bunch of orcs.
Okay. So we're just gonna turn tail and go the other way?
Yeah.
Okay. So you turn just straight 190 degrees, 180. I'm great at math. You turn 180 degrees and start going the other way. Do you want to go back along the path, or like through the woods again, or?
Sure, path.
All right. So you continue back along the path the way you came. You travel back that about a half a mile distance, and the path begins to branch off to the left. So you're going more left now than you were before. As you continue walking, the scenery around you begins to change a little bit. The trees become less dense, and there are more... Well, the trees that were fallen over in this dense forest become less common, and all the trees seem to be standing up at this point. There are trees that are like much thicker and that have like deep roots going down into the ground, so they're like not going to fall out easily. And as you're walking along, you begin to see like big boulders, like huge rocks all over the place, and you're like, huh, weird, big old rocks, because there weren't very many rocks in the forest that you were in before. And as you're walking along, you begin to see like little puddles kind of forming around you. Like, well, not forming around you, but like as you're walking, puddles begin to become more frequent. Some of them are filled with water, but as you kind of take a closer look, they seem to be like very shiny or whatever. And as you're walking forward, like you begin to see bigger and bigger puddles until it becomes like a little bit muddy to walk along the path. Would you like to examine these puddles, or just kind of keep going? Or
sure, we can look at the shininess.
all right, roll me nature, I guess.
Oh, that looks fun. 9. I can math.
Oh, your nature is -3. I forgot.
Because I'm the worst.
Okay, so it looks kind of shiny, like, you know how an oil is like.
Rainbowy.
I guess Keep would not have seen car oil on the ground before, so
maybe like
it's
lion
just kind
oil.
of. So it's just kind of. It's like a weird like shiny rainbowy sheen on the top of. Denise says, I have rolled a natural 20 for the chance to watch some high quality Denise
memes.
I mean, sure, if you want to, you can roll that, see if you get high enough to have us take a break for Denise memes. But later though, okay, he's doing something. So, you investigate and you kind of take a look and you're like putting your fingers in this stuff and it's like kind of sticky and oily and you're like, what is this grossness? And just
because I'm you and I hate touching anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can decide if you like it or not. Maybe you just like put it in your hair, hair gel or something. Yeah, so it seems to be like some kind of shiny rainbowy oil on the surface of the water.
Hello? Was that me whispering again?
That was yeah. So would you like to continue forward?
Yeah.
All right. So as you're walking forward, the trees kind of like begin to thin out a lot, and you begin to only see like one tree every like maybe 10 or 20 feet, and the farther you go, like it becomes even more sparse, and the puddles become like huge. So you begin to see like basically you're passing like small lakes, and the path goes like right through the middle of like a bunch of like maybe 20 feet radius ish like ponds filled with a black liquid.
Oh, that's sketchy.
So it's like thick black, like tar kind of looking stuff, and it's like spooky. So you're like walking through a wasteland or something, and as you're looking at these pools of black liquid, there's just kind of like bubbles, like like pitch or something, and it's like there's a little steam kind of rising from these places, causing like a bit of a light fog to be in the area as you're walking forward.
That's sketchy.
It is a little sketchy. But I feel like
everything is sketchy. There are orcs, there's giant puddles of things. At least there seems to be no immediate threat.
I mean, you could talk to the orcs. They might be like normal people. I mean, you're a tiefling. None of you are like regular
I'm spooky,
human.
aren't I?
Yeah, you're spooky too. You can intimidate them.
Hello, I am Keep.
Hello, I am Keep. Who is Keep?
Who is Keep? Oh gosh.
It's a little sus.
It is.
Roll me perception once more.
Okay. I'm bad at deciding things.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's 4. I love being stupid. Oh yeah, you're right.
Well, I wasn't gonna make anything happen if you had failed it, but now that you crit failed,
yay!
I'm gonna say that
what the heck? Who is
you're like so busy, kind of like looking off to your right at the like tar puddles, and you're like, what the heck is this nasty stuff? you accidentally like step off the path with your left foot. And you just kind of like get your whole leg like up to your thigh,
Yay, love
just
that.
like covered in this ooze, and you're like kind of having to pull yourself out now. Unless you don't want to pull yourself out, what would you like to do? You like kind of fell in a little
Why
bit.
would I be like, oh, let's just bathe in the
Yeah, let's just take a swim.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll yeet myself out of that.
Alright, roll me a dex save.
Yeet! 18.
Oh, wow, nice. And then
I
go back
can't
to this
see.
page for your dexterity. Do a save. So that's a +4.
What the heck? Okay.
So that is 22 total. So yeah, you like, you're kind of like, what's going on? Ah! And you just like immediately yank your leg out, and you're like, holy boy, that's gross. And your leg is like covered in like basically just oil, pitch, tar, something.
Yay.
It's gross black liquid, and it's just like sticky, it's heavy, it's hot, it's just gross. Mm-hmm.
That's not fun.
Yep. Probably makes for great fire fuel, though, if you want to eat some into a torch. I don't know.
Maybe we shouldn't go back to the orc campfire.
It's just like your leg bursts into flames.
Oh, no. Yeah, if like they hated me, they could just like eat me into the fire and I would just die immediately.
I mean, if they thought of that, yeah.
True. I guess we just keep
or
going.
you could just take off your pants and throw it at them, and then just like fire your pants. New weapon. Add it to your inventory. Fiery pants. You're a really great liar.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Oh wait. Denise says I have rolled a natural 20 for the chance to watch some high quality media.
Yeah, that already happened.
Oh, I thought he said I have rolled a d20 for the chance. And then, oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, I thought he said he was rolling to see if we would watch it. Not that he rolled a nat 20.
On what you were
Got it.
saying,
I was confused. I'm sorry. Okay. So what would you like to do?
I mean, since it's not like eating my leg alive or anything, I guess I'll just keep going on the path, see if I can find something that doesn't want to kill me.
Okay. So yeah, you're kind of like continuing along the path, and with every step you hear a squawk. Just like making horrible like farting noises kind of as you're walking along, and you don't encounter anyone. It doesn't look like there's very much life in this area. There are still some like sparse trees around, but their leaves are kind of like green or like grayish brown, I guess, and the bark of the tree kind of looks weird. So like somehow this tree is surviving in this place, but it's kind of hard. And they're like, I don't know the name of these trees. Like they're kind of like one of the trees in real life, but I don't know the name for it. It's like a mangrove tree, maybe. I don't know, but it's kind of like got thick roots that kind of like go out. So there are still some of those trees kind of like dotted around. But in general, this is just kind of a barren area. So you continue walking through. You manage to get like along the path, and like nothing really changes. The path just kind of goes between these ponds, and you don't accidentally fall in anymore. So that's good. You reach the other side of like where the ponds start to thin out, and there aren't as many of them anymore. And the path is still kind of continuing. It's not as clear of a path at this point. It kind of peters off a little bit. So now there's just kind of like forest beginning again, and you're just like heading into more forest with not too much direction. But you are significantly closer to the mountains now. There were like that mountain I mentioned earlier, like at the center of the islandish. You can see that like off to your left. It's not as far away anymore. It's only maybe half the distance it was, maybe even less than it was before when you first were on the shore of the island. And this has taken you several hours to walk all this distance.
Yay!
So you've walked quite a ways. I don't know how many hours. I'm not even gonna bother trying to calculate it. But let's just say it took some time.
Okay.
So yeah, and as you're like, you can see now that you're closer that the mountain is like big old mountain, and then there's like tiny littler mountains that kind of are where you are now. So there's like the big mountain over here, and then like there's a littler mountain range that kind of like forms a big wall as you're walking this way. Yeet. Oh, roll me perception again.
Yeet.
So 18?
18. Yep.
Nice.
Wait, I should tell Eden about Keep in case she wants to come watch it.
Okay. Well, I mean,
This
this will be saved as a video on demand as well. All right. I'll wait to do my description until you are prepared.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. I've got all the dice. Let's hope I don't get a 7. Didn't get any 7s. That's right, Keith.
Okay, I have told her about Keep.
Okay.
Let's hope she responds.
Alright, so, as you're looking at the mountain off to your left, the kind of like hazy, smoky fog from earlier has kind of dissipated as you've walked away from the tar pits, like the black marshlands. And now you see off to your left, like the mountain is kind of like, you can notice that there is like lava streaming down the sides of it, and also kind of like pouring out of like a big hole in the like center of it. So if the mountain's like facing you, there's like a big hole right in the middle here, and it's just kind of like pouring lava out slowly, kind of not like violently spurting, but like just kind of like gently, like a lava stream, like from kind of like at Hawaii or whatever. And it's like kind of going off somewhere to your left, not sure where. Yeah, it's just kind of like oozing lava gently, and there's like smoke rising from the top of the volcano.
It seems like something I shouldn't go super close to.
Especially not with your leg that's like ready to burn on fire. Yeah. I mean, hey, at least the lava has not lit the entire black land on fire. She's texting.
She says she's gonna join after she watches the new Phil's Not on Fire. I'm telling her to let us know when she joins so I can give her a little recap of the angsty backstory.
Oops, I need. That's the exact same thing, but they're homophones. They're not the same word over and over again. I'm taking off my socks because my feet are hot.
I'm so bad at like coming up with things to do.
Well, I mean, it's a lot better when there are other people around, I guess, or when you talk to people or something, because you have more direction. Like, you kind of just, it's unfortunate that we don't have anyone else with us at this point, so that's a rip, but, I mean...
Because I'm an angsty loner.
Angsty loner! I mean, everyone in your family just died. You need some time to relax and, like...
It's true. For a while.
Get some anger out of your system.
Yeah, just punch a mountain.
Like throw your pants in a volcano and like whoosh.
Why do you want me to throw my pants in a fire so much?
They'd be a great weapon. Like, have you ever had like a tarry pant leg wrap around your face?
Nope.
Just on fire.
I
haven't either.
We can keep going towards the tiny mountains that are blocking us from the scary one. I don't know.
Alright, sounds good. So, you continue to walk forward. Roll me... Are you just kind of like tromping through the forest, or are you like trying to be stealthy, or like are you trying to go fast? What you want to do?
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast! Scorch, scholar, scorch.
I guess we're just going kind of normally, because like there's no signs of spooky.
Okay. So you're just kind of like tromping through the forest, like legs sticking to all, like as you're going, you're just like getting like dead leaves, twigs, and just like
lovely
all sorts of stuff like stuck to your legs. So you kind of look like the embodiment of like nature man as you're like walking through. Only that leg though, so the rest of you's fine. But you're just kind of like your leg is coated in leaves and twigs and stuff by the end of this. So you're kind of like hopping up on overturned logs and like just kind of going on your merry way. More squirrels get like terrified of you. Hey, Darkblade, welcome. Bangs.
Yeah, they are not styled at all. I just put them down because I wanted to become my edgy character. So
roll me a perception check. Sorry, I took that.
You really did. Wow.
Well, I mean, this one is the same thing. It's just.
Well, then why didn't you take that one then?
Fine, I will do
or
that
maybe I
next
should
time.
use that one since this one seems to hate me. What the heck? Why does everything hate me?
Okay, so that's some pretty bad perception.
5.
I will say that you be like, as you're still walking through this kind of like eerie, pretty silent forest, you begin to hear something, and you're like, something ain't right. There's like the sounds of footsteps somewhere, or like tromping, and it doesn't feel like just one footstep. It feels like maybe many.
Because people have one footstep.
Yes, just hopping on one foot as they go.
We go hide behind something.
We go hide behind something. Sounds like a plan. There are like some big boulders off to your back right if you'd like to hide behind those. There's like an overturned log, like just kind of leaning up against another tree over.
Can we like climb
a
tree?
Yes, you may climb the tree.
Yay.
You can even like use that log to like scorch your way up into.
Scorch?
Yeah, just like scorch, up into the tree if you'd like.
Sure.
And just hide behind the branches. All right.
Trees are a fun place to be.
All right, so roll me dexterity to get up into the tree.
Yeet.
That's pretty bad
That's
dexterity.
really sad. I hate this die.
You can use the other one if you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this.
Okay. So that was a 4 total. So as you're attempting to scorch your way up into this tree, you're like step squash. Her leg is covered in his leg is covered in tar, by the way. So like as you're kind of stepping up there with your left leg, the tar kind of like makes you lose your footing, and you just go slip, and, like, bash your face and just like slide. You slide down the log and just kind of end up in a puddle on the ground, and you probably get some like tar just like all up that side of your face.
Oof.
Actually, maybe not quite that bad. It wasn't a crit fail, but it was, you don't manage to get up the tree. It just like it didn't work too well.
Okay, well then let's just settle for hiding behind the tree instead of in the tree.
That works. You can hide in the bushes instead or something.
Let's do
that. Okay. So roll stealth.
8. What the heck?
That is a crit fail.
I'm so sad.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know how to do this exactly. So roll me perception again.
4 and 7. I'm really not doing well.
Okay, so so you hear, or you feel in the rumbles of the ground these footsteps approaching closer and closer, like trump, 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 and you can kind of hear like the clanking of weapons and stuff as well as these many footsteps are walking. Then like they seem to pass like right near you, like crashing through leaves and stuff as they're going. However, they seem to be like just over the crest of like a small hill that's like right near you. So that you don't like get run over by anyone, but you see the leaves like right kind of off to your left, like as you're like hiding under this log, you like see branches going by as though like there's a lot of people walking by. You're really bad at hiding. Like you think you're hidden, but like you're just not hidden at all. But since they're like on the other side of this hill, you don't get seen anyway, thank goodness. But yeah, there's like a bunch of footsteps just kind of like tromping by and like not noticing it at this point. What would you like to do? You can't see them either.
How dumb do I want to be? Can we like eat a giant rock? Like some.
I gotta lift a giant rock.
Well, not a giant rock.
You're gonna use your pants as ammunition to fire it out of a giant gun?
We can take like something that'll make sounds and throw it like really far away, but like close enough to where we can see them without them seeing us. And then like see what kind of like sketchy dudes these are, or if they're non-sketchy dudes, and then be like, yay.
Okay, so what is your plan exactly? What do you want to do first?
This is gonna be the worst thing. Wait, so how close are they? Are they close enough to like
there's
here?
like a small hill, like maybe 10-15 feet tall, like between you and where these people are, so they're like, if this is looking from a side angle, so here's this hill or something, you don't know what's on the other side here, but there's like people walking by, and you're just like down here like, I'm stealthy.
Wait, I just had an even better idea.
Oh no. Are you gonna light your pants on fire and throw them?
Okay, Eden just
Like-
got here, so she'll get this joke too.
Hey, Eden,
what if I
welcome.
just go up to the people on the hill and just go, hey, got a cheese sandwich?
Is that what you're gonna do?
I mean, I'm having the worst luck anyway, so
I mean,
might as well.
You can do it if you want to.
Eden's here, let me. Oh, yay, she's here. Hello, I have arrived. Okay, so Keith's backstory, I'll do it really quickly because
Okay,
we're gonna know the
yeah.
story. But I've never played D&D before. He has a little bit, and so I just randomly made up a character, and he told me to make a backstory, and I was like, okay. So he's really edgy and everything. His name is Keep. He didn't have a mom, and his dad, he lived with his dad until his dad got possessed by a demon and started shooting at him with a bow and arrow. And that's why he's traumatized by bow and arrows and he hates them with his whole heart. And then he ran away. And then he found this lovely elderly lady named Annalise who became his mother, and she sent him to school. But just like Percy Jackson, he got kicked out of 6 schools in 6 years because he was just too edgy and too like rambunctious, and he was just like causing too much trouble, so he got kicked out a lot. And then he finally found a school where he kind of fit in, which was the School of Edgy Teens. And he stayed there for a while until he was just too edgy, where he got kicked out for like showing off his edginess because he was just too edgy. And then he was really upset, and so he was like, Mom, you know, I think it's time for me to like branch out, like go away from home for a while. And she was like, Keep, why? I love you. And he felt like really guilty about that. But then his possessed dad came in the night and murdered his adoptive mother, and then he was even more traumatized and a troubled child, except he's like 18. And so he ran away, and now he's on this weird island, and there's like, he's having horrible luck. He stepped in this puddle of tar, so his entire leg is just covered in tar and leaves and twigs, and then he fell down out of a tree because is terrible at life. And yeah, that's where he's at right now. And now there's a whole bunch of people that are tromping past, and they haven't seen him yet, but he's about to go up to them and say, got a cheese sandwich. So we'll see how that goes.
Alright, so is that what you're gonna do?
Yes.
You're just gonna like
We're going to ask
stand
about
up,
the cheese sandwich.
walk up to the top of the hill and be like,
Got a cheese sandwich?
just like to whoever's over there.
Yes, that is exactly what's gonna happen.
Are you trying to intimidate them or roast them in any way, or are you just saying that and like?
We're just getting out some rage just by saying that. Eden says this is so weird. I know.
Okay. So, Keith, you walk up this hill like you have a normal footstep, and then you hear a scorch, and then you have another footstep, and then you hear a scorch, and then you hear another footstep, and then you hear a scorch, and then you reach the top of the hill, and as you look over, you can see like just this huge line, like as far as the eye can see in both directions, because like you've been sitting there for a little while, and they've gone pretty far on. They're going to the right. So there's like a bunch of orcs, like a whole orc army outfitted with like big metal shields, big spears and javelins or whatever. They've got bows, and they've got swords and stuff as well, and they're just like all in helmets and stuff, and they're like chomping, they're going someplace, and they're not like paying too much attention to the surroundings. They're just like trying to walk as quickly as possible and travel from one place to another. However, when you like kind of scorch and stomp your way up to the top of this hill and go,
Got a cheese sandwich?
they just kind of go, what? And all the orcs that can kind of see you and that are like within earshot just kind of stop and just kind of look up at you like, what the heck? And this kind of forces like the ones that were traveling behind to like kind of bump into them, and they all kind of like stop, and like their like parade of orcs just kind of stops for a bit, and they're just like, what? And they all turn to you and they go, who goes there? And several of them kind of like point their spears at you, and they're just like, what are you doing?
Okay, I'm a sneaky dude, right?
You are a sneaky dude, however they have seen you.
I know, but I meant like deception-wise or whatever.
Okay, yeah, you are a sneaky dude. You're too edgy for them. You're edgier than thou.
Okay, I'll
He stepped in tar because he got a cheese sandwich.
The cheese was too sticky.
Ooh, this is black cheese. Take a bite.
So he's just gonna start off with a simple, "What you doing here, pals?" Well, not pals, but he's just gonna ask like what they're doing.
We are the Orc Army. Who are you? We're traveling and attempting to do things. Well, who are you and what are you doing in our land?
I don't know whether to be.
They're just kind of surprised that you don't know who they are, and they're just like, they didn't know how to respond to that. And a couple of the orcs kind of like start like approaching up the hill a little bit to get closer to you, still pointing a spear at you like, who is this dude?
I'm gonna be like...
Too edgy for me.
I'm a graduate from the Academy of Edgy Teens, and I was sent to see how you're doing on your mission.
The Academy of what?
The Academy of Edgy Teens, it's where they train, like, you know, demons and orcs such as ourselves in the art of sneaking around islands.
Roll a deception, I guess.
It's gonna be like a 2.
What's your nat 20 now? What Hako says is...
14 and... 16.
Nice, okay. So, these orcs kind of go, I've never heard of the Academy of Edgy Teens before, but that sounds very prestigious. Why have you been sent to check on our duties? We've been sent by the king to do our current task. I'm not sure why he'd be checking on us by one dude in the middle of our troop, covered in ooze. So they're just kind of like staring at you weirdly, and some of the orcs on like that were behind are kind of like, what's the problem? And they're like kind of starting to circle around them.
Then I'm like, well, usually the king doesn't let recent graduates go on a mission as important as this, but since I was just so edgy, they decided to let me join you guys. So could you give me like a rundown of like what you're, you know, doing here? The king wasn't the most descriptive. You
mean you're a new recruit for our army?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Roll me deception again.
This is the worst thing I've ever done. That's an 8. Or not, wait.
You mean an 11?
Yes. What the heck? An 11, that's what that is.
The dot signifies the bottom, yeah, okay. So he's not terribly convinced. However, he's just kind of confused by what you're doing here, so he's like, well, if you're interested in fighting with us, then by all means, you're welcome to help us kick some human butt. You're not a human. I'm not sure what you are exactly. I've never seen one of your kind before. But if you're interested in destroying humans, then by all means join us. Our current mission is to travel south and strike the humans where they're weak. Our forces are traveling north to try to fight the invasion that we're putting on up north, but we're attempting to attack them from the south while their forces are drawn away. And this will hopefully result in our getting a great victory against the humans on the other side of the mountain range. And we're traveling across the forest here to try to be not seen by the forces of the humans on the wall. And it kind of gestures to like the mountain range, like the tiny mountain range, as though there's like a wall on top that people will see them, so that they're like in the far away forest, ways away from it instead.
So Keep hasn't had the best of experiences with humans because his dad was a human, but he was a jerk. He doesn't know what his mom was because somehow he turned into whatever this is. And, so he's like, okay, I guess I'll join you guys.
All right, great. Well, And he kind of like gestures for you to like join their line of like marching people, and you just got like
saw.
what? Ribbit saw?
I believe it's spelled Vrepitsa. I read that somewhere. Repitsa. That's what they say.
Okay. He kind of looks at you and he's like, "All right, what's your name, son?" Are you gonna go with him?
Yes, for now.
Okay, so you scorch your way
doing.
down the hill like scork, and he goes, "How did you get to this island? And what's your name?" And as you begin walking with him,
I'm
and the
gonna
orcs like
try
begin
to...
moving again, and they're just like, who is this guy?"
I'm gonna pull a katara and be like, I too relate to you, sir, because I also have had a really bad humans. I'm not the biggest fan, and so I kind of...
So you're gonna tell him your edgy backstory?
Not all of it, because I have some walls up. I'm a little too edgy for that. I can't like show my emotions to people. I gotta keep it on the side. Yeah.
Mom, don't call me that when I'm filming.
So I'm like, I don't have the best experience with humans either, so I'm interested in doing here. So I came to this island because I was turds, if you know what I'm saying. And so I managed to escape their evil grasp and got here on a boat.
Oh.
I happen to know what the heck this stuff all over me is.
Well, that looks like tar, the stuff that we use in our fire fuels and stuff. We use it quite often for basically all kinds of things. It's a natural resource of the land. How did you... I guess you must have stepped in somewhere.
Yep. That happened.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that you've had a bad experience with humans as well. Perhaps once we conquer this island, then and finally eradicate the humans from our lovely land, then perhaps we will aid you in getting revenge on that person of yours that you hate on wherever you came from. That face.
I'm bad at conversations.
You can ask him about, I don't know, whatever. They're just kind of tromping along with these orcs. They're just traveling a far distance. And it's getting close to evening at this point, probably. Sun's beginning to set. You feel a chill of the breeze as it wafts by. The orcs are kind of like mumbling to themselves and kind of like giving weird looks at you.
I see a friendly looking orc who's not hating. I'm like,
you're like walking up to a different orc that seems to be like just curious and
and I'm
angry.
Like, so what's your backstory? Like, I don't like humans. I've had a rough time, but like,
so you're just ignoring the one you were talking to and just like walk away?
It was one of those situations where like the conversation kind of fizzles out.
Okay,
you kind
gotcha.
of like edgily stand there for a while and then you like go off to a different...
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Like an awkward party.
So what's your deal, fam? Like that.
Alright, this kind of curious looking orc kind of is like surprised that you kind of walked up and he goes, my name is Krog. I have lived on this island. Krog. Don't judge my name. I've lived on this island all my... Wait, what did you ask him again? Just like, what's his story? Why does he hate humans? Alright, I've lived on this island all my life, and, well, we orcs have hated humans for as long as I can remember. We've been at war with them for hundreds of years, for generations. My father's fathers have gone off fighting the humans, and now it's my turn. We hope to strike a strong victory against them this day, though, or whenever we arrive at our destination. I'm not sure when exactly, the commander has not told us, so that's a great day.
Hello.
Oh, we have a person!
Good night.
Good night!
Going to bed early, so
Alright.
keep it down.
Okay.
We will attempt.
Don't allow the...
Got a cheese sandwich!
You.
Oh! We've got cheese sandwiches now.
Yeah, everyone knows the cheese sandwich joke now.
Oh my gosh, what is wrong with us?
Oh no. Okay, here's my next question. So, if you've been fighting the humans for 100 years, you're like orcs. You're like a cool, fancy race, but humans are just like humans. So like, what takes so long?
That's what I've been asking myself as well. Unfortunately, the humans have good defenses. They've managed to build up strong walls, and again points to like the mountain range, and there's you can like. I'm not gonna make you roll perception. You can just barely see like now that it's becoming evening, like some light sources on the top of the wall at different like points, which might be like people and torches or something, or might just be like the little flashing lights to make sure airplanes don't crash. I don't know. They're probably torches of some kind.
Probably.
Like people on the top. Yeah. So the orcs telling you like the humans have built strong defenses along the trenches that run this land and along the natural boundaries, which have made it quite difficult to strike any decisive victories. And when they have the high ground, it makes it quite difficult to, well, scale a mountain or to cross a giant gorge in order to reasonably get across and take them down. So even though we're stronger and I would say smarter, we have not been able to strike very many victories until recently. But this will be the month where the humans will fall. So
do you even remember the reason we fight the humans? If it's been like hundreds of years?
He kind of like looks around and he's like, I hadn't thought of that. We've just been. We just fight them because they deserve to be destroyed. This is our land. We were the ones who settled on this land first and have lived here longer than the humans. And they started mistreating us and forcing us to live on this side of the island with the tar pits and gross land and taking the best land for themselves, and we won't be downtrodden anymore. That's all I know.
Should I be like doing things other than making conversation? Like
no, you can do whatever. I mean, you can leave the orcs, you can just like keep talking. So it's like becoming more and more night, and he kind of asks you about your backstory too, which I assume you would just say the same thing as you told the other dude.
Yeah.
Oh, are you gonna tell him like what race you are or anything?
Sure.
Okay. So he's like, a tiefling, eh? Never seen your race around here before. That's quite edgy, I would say. So congrats on that.
That's why I graduated first in my class. It's the edgiest of the teens.
Okay, would you like to roll another deception? Actually, I guess you kind of said that to the whole group of them, so yeah, we'll just say he already believes that.
Yes, I'm the edgiest of all teens.
So by the way, when you were in your class for being the edgiest of teens, I would say that one of your classmates was named Edgy Edward, Edgy Edward, and like carried around an orb with him as you went. So you might know Hawk's character if you ever happen to meet him.
I see.
So yeah, you kind of talking with these orcs, just kind of chilling and going with them as they're going to wherever their strategic location is to the south of the island. You walk and you walk until your feet hurt, and then you're like, heckin' stop, please. And the orcs just keep going until they finally decide to make camp, and the orc in charge kind of like goes, alright, hold, and like you're like farther south, like very much south, and from wherever you started, and these orcs kind of begin making camp. And like stopping, just kind of like dropping their heavy shields, like, oh, thank goodness. And apparently they were tired too, but they didn't reveal it. And they all begin like setting up camp, pitching tents, kind of like just collapsing. Some of them like pull out little sacks of meat from their pouches and like chew on beef jerky or whatever. Some of them like go scouting for a river, and basically they just begin like making camp and like kind of taking their axes and chopping down some trees to make room for stuff and setting up camp and stuff. What would you like to do as night's falling? No one's really paying you any mind. They're just kind of like doing their thing, and you're just kind of like among them, like, hi, I'm here. And the orcs, like the orcs that were like able to see you and hear you, have kind of like gone ahead and started doing things, and now like the orcs coming behind are the ones that like didn't know of you, and they're just kind of like giving you weird looks and being like, should we do something about that guy with the purple skin and stuff, or is he just here? Okay, I'm gonna ignore him, I guess, and they just keep going and doing their thing. So people are like brushing past you and like kind of bumping into you as you're standing there.
Maybe I'll pull a Katniss and what's up without the boat? We can't have anything.
Oh no.
So since it's night and I've been walking for like 100 years, I'm heckin' tired. And so, but instead of like being one of these orcs who like I don't know if they trust me, I don't know if I trust them because now they didn't hear my speech about being the edgiest of teens, so they might not believe that. I'm gonna try once again to climb a tree and sleep there like Katniss did because she was heckin' talented. And hopefully I don't fall and scrape my face this time.
Well, before you were trying and you were like standing on a log and you like slipped with your tarfoot, but...
Tarfoot.
Yeah. So are you gonna... What kind of tree, or like what area of the tree are you trying to get? Are you like trying to find one that's like near the orc camp, or are you finding one that's like deep in the forest where the orc can't see you? Like, do you want to be seen by the orcs or no?
Kind of like out of sight where they wouldn't be able to like see me, but I can see their fire chatting away.
So you're gonna kind of like sneak away a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm doing that so if anyone tries to murder me, then hopefully orcs can't climb trees that much. I hope.
Orcs can't climb trees. All right, roll
orcs
me
can't
stealth.
Climb. Orcs
I
can't
guess.
climb. Yeet. Why the heck is this happening to
But
me?
your stealth is plus
11.
6, right? Okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, nobody really pays you any mind because like they're all setting their tents or whatever. So you just kind of like melt into the shadows as they're like setting up their campfires and like thinking out little jars of. It'll pour out eventually. Tar and like doing their thing. So yeah, nobody's really paying you any mind, and you managed to like stealth away for however far you were trying to go, maybe like 100 feet into the forest or something. So you
I
can
have
still
no
kind of see them.
judgment of distance, so sure.
Yeah, maybe 100, 200 feet, something, but you can still easily see their campfires and everything, and like see like their camps and stuff that they're making, but they can't really see you easily because there's light in their area, and they look out into the darkness and they don't see you. So now go ahead and roll me dexterity to climb a tree.
Hope I don't die.
17 plus 2, I think, because this is your dexterity.
Yep. I know how to see.
Dexterity plus 2, yeah, okay. So yeah, that's a 19 total. So yeah, you like
didn't fail this time.
You just kind of like scoot your way into this tree, like just kind of hugging the branch and like doing that kind, or like the trunk and doing that kind of thing, and it works a lot better than the last thing you tried. So yeah, you managed to get up into this tree.
Upper body strength.
Are you going to tie yourself into the tree, pull a full Katniss, or are you just gonna like sit up there, or like what you gonna do? You can make yourself a hammock out of the rope.
Am I that talented?
I mean, that would be a dex thing, like sleight of hand. So I mean, you could try it if you wanted to.
Let's try.
It depends on how complicated.
Die.
Yeah, sure, okay.
What if I roll like a 1 and I make a hammock and I like fall out of it?
You just tie yourself into a noose and hang yourself instead
that
by
would
accident.
Be the edgiest of all times.
Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, roll me sleight of hands to try to make this hammock thing. That is 9. A 9 plus whatever. 9 plus
13.
4? Okay. Yeah, you managed to concoct something. It might not be the most comfortable thing in the world, but I mean, it's better than a tree branch. So yeah, you kind of like weave
I'm a spider.
a makeshift net, I guess, and you just kind of like sleep on it. Your leg is still covered in stuff, by the way. Are you gonna do anything about that, or just like sleep in that?
What can I do? Can I get it off?
You could take off your pants. You could like try to scrape it off with a knife.
Oh, we should take my fancy knife that I've mysteriously had for all of my life and use that to.
Oh, so you want to have like one dagger and one like decorative knife thing?
Spooked me. Well, it's a mysterious one that I super wink wonk, super mysterious and all that. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, you could say that you have that mysterious knife instead of just a regular dagger. So you have one regular dagger and one super fancy dagger. One mysterious dagger.
Don't know where that came from.
Okay, so what would you like to do with this mysterious dagger?
We're gonna try to get this stuff off of me. Because there's so much on my leg. It's like 10 pounds heavier than it should be.
And very sticky and covered in twigs and leaves and stuff.
Well, love that.
I love how you've like climbed this tree and then like weaved a hammock, and then you're like, yeah, I should probably do something about this, and now you're just like in this hammock thing, like trying to scrape your leg with a knife. Okay, roll me sleight of hand, I guess, to be able to like shave.
Cut my leg off.
Yeah.
16
Ooh, nice.
and 18.
Nice. Wait, that's sleight of hand?
Oh, whoops.
He's not good at math.
I was looking at the dexterity because for some reason I can't hear properly, so that's actually 20.
Nice. All right. So yeah, you shave your leg very cleanly.
Shave my leg.
Like with your pants on, you like I don't know. So you get most of this off. I mean, like you're not like taking off your pants. I don't know what.
Like you keep telling me to do.
Somehow you manage to like get most of this off. Like I wouldn't say you get 100% of it off, but you get like most of it off, and it's like you could function normally again. Do you like what do you do with all this gunk on your knife? Do you just like wipe it on the tree? Do you like throw it down on an orc? You know, just like put it in your pouch
Ooh,
and use it for later.
I can throw it into the orc's fire to make it like more intense of a fire.
All right, so you're like 100 or 200 feet away.
Oh shoot!
We didn't really decide. And you're gonna have to throw it through branches of tree.
If it doesn't make it, it'll just go in the forest somewhere.
Okay, alright, so you have this like big lump of tar that's kind of like solidified a little bit after like being walked in for a day. So you've just got like this ball of like black ooze that kind of like sticks to your fingers a little bit as you're holding it. And you're just gonna try to yeet it at the fire that's really far away.
Yep.
Alright, roll me.
I'm impulsive.
Roll me dexterity for throwing things. Yeetation.
Yeetation. 18.
Whoa, okay. I'm gonna say you do have disadvantage though, because of the whole being far away, it's sticking to your fingers, and there being tree branches in the way. So when you have disadvantage, that means you roll twice and you take the lower number. So roll it one more time and
no,
see.
it's gonna be like 2.
Yeah, hopefully not. I really want you to do well.
Oh, that's a 7.
Okay, so that's a 9.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can't.
Okay, so
math.
You throw it, and it kind of like sails through the air. It doesn't land in the fire where you wanted it to. It just kind of like bounces off the tarp of one of the tents and just kind of like rolls around and like gets underneath an orc's foot, and he steps on it and goes, oh, someone pooped in the middle of the path. What the heck? He's like kind of scraping it off on the dirt ground, and he's like a little bit upset, reasonably so. But yeah, nothing. It doesn't go in the fire, and no one really cares. No one noticed that he threw a fireball waiting to happen. Yeah. So that's about it. Would you like to spend the night there?
Yeah.
All right. So night falls. Take a long rest, and when you wake up, the orcs are already making camp, like at the first light of day, and the orc dude is like, or like the orc dude in charge is kind of like yelling. He's like yelling to the orcs like, "Ah, get your backs up, wake up and do it."
Get your backs up, wake up and do it.
You know,
Best pep talk.
I just like flip-flopped 2 or 3 sayings together and it didn't work. It really didn't.
Also,
so
he
yeah,
says
he's,
I
like,
can't math
motivated.
same. Yeah. That's,
So he's
leave the math to Pidge.
Yeah, they're like packing up camp and like putting tent posts together and like wrapping up their animal hide around it and like shoving it in their backpacks and like putting on their helmets and getting ready for battle again and beginning to march out. Nobody's really paying you any mind, but you are in daylight now, so they could maybe see you if they looked.
Well, Keep, you know, he's not the most trusting of types because he has some walls up. I keep quoting that. I can't say the word keep without it being a pun. I keep quoting that because it's true. So he's like, I mean, they seem fine. I don't really. So Keep gonna climb down his tree. Gonna like follow them, but at a distance.
They're gonna bring your rope down too. You're just gonna leave it there. Alright, cool. So you like wrap back up and put it in your pack.
And you gonna like follow them, but like at a distance, so not like right there. You know, he just like
so just behind like the last orcs as they're like packing up camp and heading out.
Yeah. Notice because he's like sketch.
Sneak snack. Ho ho. Ho ho ho. There's a clean over. Alright. So yeah, you begin like trailing these orcs as they head out again. How far are you staying back behind?
I have no concept of distance at all.
Okay. Are you gonna be like on the path behind them? Or like are you just gonna be in the bushes behind them?
We a sneaky boy.
Okay. Roll me stealth. I assume you're trying to not be seen by them.
Yeah. 17.
Very nice. Okay. So yeah, you're kind of like going through the bushes and stuff behind them, and nobody really notices you. However, you are slowed down a bit by that, so you have to work harder than they do to like actually. Sorry, I hiccuped. To actually move forward. So they're like kind of trumping by, and all the orcs up front are like hacking through the forest and like making a big path, and then the orcs behind are just kind of like walking through the like trampled forest, and like it's really easy for them to walk, but you're just like, I don't want to use that path. I'm gonna go through the bushes, and you're like fighting your way through brand new forest that hasn't been traversed, and it's like a lot rougher for you. But you're still. Let me roll, or just roll athletics, I guess, to try to see how well.
I didn't do anything with that. 10.
10. Okay, that's exactly average. You. Why not?
Living.
You're trailing them, but it's just really rough. It's difficult, but you're managing it somehow. And yep, you're just kind of trailing the orcs as they're continuing more south, like just along the wall. And the farther you get south, like you're seeing like the mountain range, or like the big mountain that's like way behind you, because you're like traveling this way farther and farther away from it. And the mountain range is kind of like doing this, but then it like slowly is getting trailed off more and more. And so like you're getting, the mountains on your left are getting lower and lower until finally the trail of orcs just kind of like takes a sharp left and they begin like going towards the. Are you gonna do anything? Follow them or keep going? They are making their advance on the mountain. Sneak snack. That face is beautiful.
I don't know what. I guess I'll just follow them. Like, what else is
interesting
to do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't have very many options now because you're in the middle of the forest and these are the older people around at this point.
We're lost in the woods.
Somewhere in New
Jersey,
and we're never gonna make it to LA. Yeah, and you don't have any other people in your party, so you can't even talk to anyone.
I'm so alone.
You're just like,
Keith is the loner.
I am here. Yes. So you continue to follow these orcs as they like kind of fan out, or like they go forward for a bit, and like once they get like closer to the mountain, like within, they're like going right up to the edge of the tree line. So like if this is the mountains, there's like it kind of evens out into like a plains area with like some nice hills and stuff, and it looks kind of nice, like a regular pasture or something. So that there's like a couple 100 feet of that, like maybe 600 feet of like kind of grassy, hilly meadow area between the mountain, which is, these are like the lesser, like straight up sheer rock face mountains. These are more like gentler bumps kind of. But they're still like stone, and they're still like kind of big, but they're not as big as like they were over to the left. Anyway, so there's like 600 feet-ish of meadow area before like the tree line where the dense forest starts. So these orcs have kind of like gone towards the mountain, and once they get to like this point where the meadow is beginning, they kind of like stop before that, and they kind of like form a line along the tree line, and like they begin to like get more sneaky, trying to stay unseen and without like making big tree movements as they're going by, and they like form a long line going off to the right along the tree line, and they're like getting ready. Like you see people or orcs like kind of drawing arrows and like beginning to take a look up at the top of the wall to see if they can see any humans up there to snipe. And they're like grabbing their weapons, like getting ready to do their thing. many of them are like kind of bringing out their shields and getting ready to go. And what are you doing in all this? Still kind of following from a distance? And you see, like, you're kind of like on the far left side of this orc line. There's no one really to the left of you. All the orcs are kind of like in a huge line going that way. There's maybe like 3 orcs deep of people, a 3 orc line deep of people going to the right, pretty far, but it's hard to see how far because there's lots of trees and stuff.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna like figure out what this battle even is, because like I can't eat. I'm here, got a cheese sandwich.
You could.
They'd just be like, why does this kid so obsessed with cheese sandwiches?
Okay, so the orcs seem to be waiting for something. You're not sure what, but they're kind of doing their thing. Then from atop the wall, you hear a ram's horn go. Padoot!
Padoot!
Yes, Padoot. And then the orcs just like, oh, the jig's up, let's go! And they just like start charging out of the forest and go, "Brrr! We're orcs, we're scary, fear us!" And they like start rushing towards the mountain, like holding their shields kind of above them. You see like a couple, like maybe 5 arrows from the top of the wall just kind of go ting ting ting. Like
arrows,
nothing. What?
Arrows!
I know. So just like not very many arrows. Apparently there aren't very many people on the top of this wall in this area. But the humans are like trying. They're like, oh boy, this is bad. And orcs just like begin just like climbing these rocks and like charging up the mountain and like going all over the place. And they're just, yeah, they're climbing the mountain and they're gonna go crazy, and the humans are spooked in their pants probably. You don't really see the humans at this point that well. I mean, maybe you see a couple of the humans up on the top of the wall with bows and arrows and being like, what are we supposed to do for this gym? Don't know. But yeah, they're kind of spooked, and they seem to be like not able to withstand the whole like however many 900 orcs or however many there are.
Heck.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. Are you going to like peek out of the tree line and try to see like what's to the right and left of you, or kind of stay hidden?
Yeah, I guess I'll see if there's like a bigger clump of along here. If there are, then I can eat myself over there and be.
What's up?
What's up, girl?
You want to attack the humans as well, or
I don't know about attack, but I could
manipulate
and be like,
hedge? Okay. So yeah, roll me perception.
I am horrible at every single time, so. Or not. Okay, that's
Ooh,
16.
Okay, good. So as you look to the left of you, you just kind of see more meadow and the mountain's getting higher. You don't really see much except, well, you see a couple more humans that are like, as the wall on the top of the mountain is like maybe 10 feet high, stone wall made of like cobblestones kind of stuff. And it just kind of like goes across the whole top of the mountain range, up and down as the mountains do. And like you see, like as the mountain goes farther to the, or like the wall goes farther to the right, or to the left, sorry. Like there are some humans over there, not very many. They're just kind of evenly spaced, same as over where the orcs are attacking. And the ones on the left are kind of like, oh no, oh no, and like rushing to try to do something. They're not succeeding very well. And over to the right, you see these like large number of orcs, maybe 900 or something. You don't know exactly how many, but there's a large chunk of orcs, and they're like scaling the wall. And this is like the point where the mountains are kind of like not as steep as I've said. So like it's not like a straight up like this kind of incline, more like a it kind of goes up a little, and they can kind of climb it easily. So they're just kind of like scrambling up, the orcs are, and to the right even farther, you can see, like now that you're poking your head out of the tree line, you can see the glistening ocean to the distance beyond. And like the meadow kind of like goes down to a beach area, like beyond where the orcs are. So the orcs are kind of using that as well to like go just like along the beach and around the mountain to get behind like where the wall is, where the humans are. And there is like some sort of defenses, like the wall goes down straight to the beach, but then there is a point where the wall ends eventually, and the orcs are just kind of like going around it basically as well. So there's like full frontal assault of the mountain and the wall, and like rushing around the wall too. And the humans, there were only like maybe 15 along this patch of wall against these 900 orcs. So they're mostly like just turning tail and running, and they're kind of like eating themselves back down the other side of the mountain. And yeah, that's the situation. And the orcs are kind of like climbing their way up to the top of the wall and being like, ah, and looking around. There's no one to fight, and they're just kind of like taking over. And they begin to run to the left of the wall too. And like the humans that are over there begin to like run. Orcs are, yeah, at any point you can jump in and say something. So orcs are just kind of like beginning to charge left as well along the flat surface of the top of the wall. And you can see humans going like, oh, 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 and like trying to begin fighting orcs, and like not doing so well because there's a lot of orcs and there aren't very many humans. So it's a bad day for them. It's slayed.
No.
And then one of the humans gets like tossed off the mountain and bam, 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 rolls into the meadow. Near-ish to, but not really. 600 feet away across the meadow. No. He got killed up there, then yeeted off the mountain.
We could have a dramatic scene where it's like,
Tell my wife I loved her.
Also, wow, I'm technically supposed to go in like 3 minutes, but
I mean, we can end it here if you don't have anything.
Sure.
I mean, what would you like to do anything, or would you like to just
I don't
observe?
know,
Would you like to help?
at
Or
this.
like, all the orcs are kind of like running far away from you. You're like 600 feet away from all of them now. Hey, Grayson Bean. Hey, sorry, am I late? A little bit. I mean, we might end it in 3 minutes, but I mean, you're never too late.
I guess I'll just go the same way that the orcs are going, just to see what all the tea is.
Alright, so you're just gonna charge like much later than everyone else and be like, yay, I'm helping! And you just like run.
Because I'm not really
well.
helping, I'm just observing and like seeing what's. Oh, Avery's
Hey,
here.
Avery, welcome.
Hello. Welcome to
So would you like to
Keep.
like climb the mountain, or would you like to?
Sure. Let's go explore.
So you're not gonna go the easy way, just walk around?
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Yeah, so you just kind of, while the orcs are just like going up and going crazy. Hang on, let me check my map real quick.
Ooh, heck, there's a map.
There is a map. So yeah, as you go off to the right to like, or like follow along the meadow until you get to like where the beach area begins, you can see that there's like there's a long. Okay, so let me just show you this part of the map.
In the meadow.
So like you're right here, and you can kind of see this like large bay area. I'll show them in a second. And so these are like the mountains. They kind of like there's a break in the mountains here, so like that's where they're all kind of rushing in, and it's like very kind of peters out the land. I know it looks like there's still mountains here, but it's just kind of like wimpy, tiny little hills. It's just kind of continue a little bit, and you see like some shipwrecks off the like to where these shallow sandbar ends. There's a little bit of like water disturbance in this area, but it just looks like a nice sun glistening on the waters. It's a nice area, and you're just kind of like going along with these orcs, continuing on as they like just engulf this whole area. This is the area that I showed. She's like there, and she's looking this way, and this is the area where there's like wimpy mountains instead of strong ones. Yeah, that's the situation-ish. So yeah, you're just kind of going this way, and orcs are just like slaughtering what few humans are in the area, and there you can see humans like kind of running for their lives, and you have crossed the mountain range to the other side of the area. Yeah. Are you gonna like talk to any of the orcs or anything, or help them, or just kind of stand there and just kind of chill, be edgy, put on your sunglasses,
So edgy.
stand against the mountains, be like, I helped with this victory, or be like, I'm too cool for this.
I feel like I need to do something because I haven't been doing all that much, but I don't know what there is.
I mean, maybe next session there'll be something more to do if you want to do it another time. Hashtag you should join.
Hashtag you should join us next time.
Yeah, that's a great
Wow.
hashtag. It's more fun when there's another person, I've found.
Yeah.
Because then, like, if you're the
'Cause
only
I don't
person,
like
you have
making
to
that
like
many decisions.
you have to like drive the story forward, figure out what the heck you're gonna do, and all that stuff. This is why I wanted mom and dad to be there. Or keep.
We'll keep.
Well, I guess he wants his dad to die.
That's true. He has a really complicated relationship.
Well, anyway, I guess that's it for this stream. We'll continue off
I
with
hope
the
you
story
enjoyed
of
the
Keep.
Adventures of Keep.
The
I'm gonna
Adventures
go
of Keep.
watch Real Keep on Netflix and rant to Eden as I always do every single night.
Or we could watch Black Panther before we lose Netflix.
But I only have 2 more days of this show, and then we can do that. And you still
But I'm
haven't.
free right now.
That's what I have to say to that.
I'm spooked.
You should be.
Grayson Bean said, EJ. Yeah? What? What? Hi?
Yeah, what?
I'm here. I exist. That's my name.
We can get rid of my bangs now. I'm not edgy anymore.
Oh, okay. I mean, you are edgy.
I don't think I qualify as edgy.
Okay. Keep it
Eden
edgy.
says bye. Yep,
Alright.
I'm definitely gonna rant about whatever happens in today's Voltron adventure.
Alright, well, thank you everyone for watching the stream. It's weird that we did Dungeons & Dragons on a Friday stream, so that's a thing. In case you should do more of it, because it's fun. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yay! Cool. I just wish I had given more options and stuff, but you were like in the middle of a forest, and I was like, there's not many interesting plot developments.
I shall examine this leaf.
Yes, I shall examine all of the leaves, and then eat the one that gives me the most powers.
Or make tea out of it like Iroh did and then
Ooh.
get diseased and
Oh.
just die.
Alright, well, see you guys. Thanks for coming to the stream. Bye. Love you all. See ya. Procrastinating because I don't know how to end these. God bless.
Keep.